My name is Freddy Rodríguez. I'm an artist in the exhibition Amor Africano. I came to the United States in 1963. It became a very important year in American history. 1963, many things happened. And I'm part of that all of a sudden. And now being at the Smithsonian, it increases that as a part of the history of the country, of my life. Here, on my own, I just went to school, study art. I pay for it myself. And what is interesting, my becoming an abstract artist, is that I never went to a museum in the Dominican Republic before. I never seen original abstract art in my life before, because at the time there were no museums there. And I go to MoMA, a Museum of Modern Art in New York, and I see works by Mondrian, and I see also the Roscoes and the Pollocks. All of a sudden, I embrace this art with no background at all, serious background. And I started learning more about especially geometric art, and which is my beginning as an artist. And I was a minimalist, if you can believe it, probably the only Dominican ever to work in a minimalist tradition. But always work with color. I'm a natural colorist. Then I went to the Fashion Institute of Technology, and what I majored in textile design. And the color theory for art design at the time was very intense because of the limitation of the industry. You had to really know what you're doing with colors. So I combined all these things and created some very beautiful, colorful paintings, and some of them now in the exhibition here, Our America. And at the beginning, I was making paintings that were untitled, because at that point, my only interest was just to paint. But then, little by little, like a couple of years, I started giving them title in Spanish. And already starting, even though I'm approaching art from the latest movement in New York, basically, I see myself as part of the New York school. I had to put part of my own history into this. And the beginning, it started with Spanish titles. Some of them taken from literature, something that had a big influence in my career, especially the Argentinian writer Julio Cortázar. From then on, I started moving on and giving titles like Danza Africana, that's one of the painting exhibition, Amor Africano, and Danza de Carnaval. These are all paintings that related to my background from that point of view. So I'm dealing with contemporary art, but I'm also being able to put content into it, into abstraction. That's something that very few artists were doing, especially American artists at the time. They were saying what you see is what you get. But in my case, it goes a little beyond that. You see it, but you see the titles, and then you see there is something else going on here. The other thing that I wanted to do was I never signed my paintings in the front, because I didn't want people to just point and say, oh, that's a Freddy Rodríguez. I wanted them to get close to the art and look at the art and ask them some question about the art. And then if they can see the label on the side and see that it's done by Freddy Rodríguez, it's a whole different thing, which we all do. We always want to know who the artist is. But I didn't want to call attention to my name. I wanted to call attention to the art.